video, we're going to learn how to find the distance between 2 points on a coordinate plane. Evidence-wise, we're going to be able to identify which quadrants the pair of points are going to be in, how we can apply absolute value in helping us find the distance, be able to determine the distance between 2 points in the x direction as well as the y direction, and identify where our method to solve distance is able to be applied. So the key thing to remember in this video is that we're only going to do things that are lined up horizontally or vertically. Anything else is going to be more than you need to know in 6th grade. To find the distance between 2 points, such as -4, 2 and 3, 2, you might think, well, we have to make a number line. If we did that, we could plot our points on the number line, such as this. We'd go to -4, +2, and 3 and 2. And then we could find the distance between those, right? We could do that, but that means we have to draw this entire coordinate plane first. We have to label our x and our y axes. We have to make sure our scale is accurate. And if our numbers are really, really big, we're not going to be able to do it this way. We can still do it. For example, we can count, we have distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 between these 2 points. But it's going to take a whole lot longer than we necessarily want to spend doing this. And I would argue that most mathematicians are lazy in that we try to find the fastest way to do something. This is not the fastest way. It looks like it should be the fastest way, but it definitely isn't. So let's talk about what is the fastest way. So a much faster way is just to look at our coordinates. If we look at these 2 points, we'll notice that they have something in common. Specifically, we'll notice that both of the y values are 2. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to completely ignore those y values. We only do this if the 2 values are the same. If they're not the same, then we're not going to ignore them. That leaves us with a -4 and a 3. Now, since we're finding distances, if you think back to one of our previous videos, you'll remember we talked about something that specifically measures the distance from 0. And if you remember correctly, that was the absolute value. So if we take the absolute value of both of these x values, well, 3 just stays as a 3, and our -4 becomes a +4. Now that's great. What do we do with this? Well, we already know what the distance should be from the previous example. But how do we know that we're going to need to do that? Well, if our 2 points are in the same quadrant, then we're going to need to subtract our 2 absolute values. I would always pick the bigger one to subtract from, just so that you don't end up with a negative number. If they're in different quadrants, then we're going to add them. In this case, since one of our x values is -4, and the other one is a +3, we can say very confidently that these are going to be in different quadrants. And if they're in different quadrants, we are going to add our 2 values together. So 4 + 3 is equal to 7. So our distance is going to be 7 of whatever our unit is in this graph. If we don't know what unit it is, we can just say units, and that is a good general answer. Next, I want you to try this problem. And I want you to do this without making a coordinate plane. You're going to find the distance between the 2 points 3.2, -3, and 5.4, -3. Think about, are they in the same quadrant? Are they in different quadrants? Should you add or subtract the absolute values of either the x or y values? What do you need to do here? Explain in words how you found your answer. So, things to remember. When you start this, check your ordered pairs. Look for which values are the same. Are they the x values or the y values? Next, you're going to look at the sign of the other values, the ones that are different. If the signs are the same, so meaning they're both positive or they're both negative, you're going to subtract their absolute values. If they're different, so one is positive and one is negative, then you're going to add your absolute values. If you need to check, and you're not sure you got the right answer, you can go ahead and make a coordinate plane and plot them and then measure the distance that way. But
ain't nobody got time for that.
Finally, we'll leave you with these suggested practice problems. The first 6, you're just going to find the distance between those 2 points. There are 6 of them. Some of them are fractions. Some of them have decimals. Some of them have fractions and decimals. Do the best you can. Try doing it without a coordinate plane. The second one is a word problem. You have a lighthouse. This is a good example of a situation where you probably wouldn't want to make a graph, because if you notice the x value in that one ordered pair, it's 92. I don't think you want to plot that on a piece of graph paper. So this is definitely a situation where you'd want to use the absolute value method. Good luck.